What's going on? Back for part two in our card review series here with Robert Hebert, the owner, creator of Cyberlord Games. Myself, Carl Machoto, part of the YouTube Heading Up, I guess, guy, or whatever you call that, the channel organizer. And
Something.
CVH, our local
How's it
article
going?
writer here.
Yeah, article writer.
Back for part two.
Active
Starting off
Hearthstone
with
grinder.
the water sieve.
Yeah, water sieve.
Water,
Sucking
whatever.
Conchito back.
The water
Whatever,
will.
yeah, whatever it is, the water.
The
So we
will
have
of water.
pretty much. So we're starting the water, and the first card here is the 2-drop Archer of the Crescent Moon.
Archer of the Crescent Moon.
Air rabbit creature. Yep. It's flying. It's a 200/200 flying creature, and it has a continuous of getting a plus 300 for plus 300 for each other were rabbit you control. I don't know how many were rabbits are actually in the set. I haven't really looked, but if there's a decent bit, she seems like she could be a really nasty 2-drop if you let her get out of hand. So
Yeah, flying really makes it. Even as a small creature, it still has flying.
Especially if there's already a 1-drop were-rabbit too.
Which
Yeah,
we'll
or-
have to discover.
yeah, well, just even playing a second one of these, having 2/5/5 flying creatures seems to be really good.
Not a bad use of
So-
turns 2 and 3 by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, no, not at all. It's just pretty straightforward, just a solid 2-drop. So it gets bigger and bigger. So our next card is Charles the Seventh. He's a 2 colorless, 1 blue, 600/600 nightmare human. 2 activate abilities. You can pay 1 to banish a human resonator. You can draw a card, or you can pay 1, banish a human resonator, and return target creature to its owner's hand. I kind of like this card.
Yeah, another multi-use card.
He can
like
basically
you're talking
sack him. He can banish himself. You can draw a card, or you can banish him and bounce a creature.
Yep.
600/600.
Or something more expendable too if you have another
Yeah,
human.
he's another modal a modal type card. He's a little weak, I think, for a 3-drop compared to what we've kind of seen, like in part 1. But
Yeah, I mean, it seems okay.
Yeah.
Not
I
bad.
mean, he's not bad. I mean, the simple fact that you can block 1 creature and then bounce another seems,
It's
seems
blue.
pretty
You're
good.
not expecting the most power. You're just expecting utility, and I think this card delivers.
Yeah, exactly. So
Why is Deep One's blue in the name? Isn't that weird? I mean, were you seeing that? It's weird, right?
I think it's because he's a super rare.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, he's I haven't been checking rarities at all, but he is a super rare. I love the fact that his resonator is Cthulhu, but he's a 2-drop, 1 colors, 1 blue. This card gets plus 200 for each resonator in your graveyard.
Seems like he
So-
could be nutty in the late game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it seems like he's one of those that can just you build up and build up, then you kind of just drop him, and it's just like, oh
He's
crap.
huge. Surprise.
Yeah, it's like,
especially
surprise.
after like turn 4 or 5, like you can just drop 2.
Yeah, yeah, definitely seems really good.
Like if you have
So-
one resonator in your graveyard, he's already a reasonable 2-drop as a 4/2.
Yeah.
That's pretty reasonable.
2/4, yeah.
or 2/4, but
Oh
yeah,
yeah, whatever. Still even better probably.
Yeah.
You'd rather have the
Yeah,
dust.
exactly. Yeah. So he's definitely something that he's just a creature that just snowballs insanely hard. It looks like, and he's definitely something that you just draw late game, and you're like, oh, okay, deal with this.
It has 1,000, 1,200 for 2.
Yeah, pretty much. And so now we have another 2-drop. This one's a standby spell. 5 challenges.
We've seen this card art in other cards.
Yes, we have.
Oh, they have different
The
challenges.
Tree of Hooray.
Hooray!
Yeah. We have the Tree of Hooray. It looks like the cloak of the whatever rabbit or whatever it was, and a couple of the things.
Yeah.
But okay, so its standby trigger is anytime. So its
Exactly
ability is
whenever.
draw a card.
Whenever
Yeah.
you have expendable mana, you can just
That's right. Yeah, whenever you have the mana, the 2 mana to pay for it, you just trigger it whenever. Its ability is you draw a card. If you control 5 or more treasury items, as well as good back in part 1, you have the treasury items coming into play, which I think all of the 5 items in the picture are pretty much all the treasury items in this set. But you return all creatures your opponent controls to your owner's hand. And then continuous, when you put a treasury item into a field, put this card from your graveyard into your hand. Now,
This card definitely seems like a trap. You're
Really
gonna try to
good.
build up the
yeah,
You're gonna
it
try to build
seems
the
really
treasuries.
good, but it reminds me of trying to get all the 5 mystics. It's
Yeah,
not
like
good.
that's the broken effect. Like drawing a card for the 2 mana you're putting it down with, and then the 2 mana you're playing with, because
Yeah.
that's apparently how it works. Is just too much mana and time for one card. And then like are you really going to build up the treasure items? Because they are able to be removed with various card effects. Even if you
Yeah.
get it to work the first game, they're going to sideboard it into their removal, and it's not going to work after that.
Yeah, it's something you can. You got me. Which one? Give me again.
Yeah.
Now, one card I'm definitely excited about. I don't know how good he is, but he seems really good. Is next card is Hamlin's Pied Piper. He's
I'm on
a
board.
5. Yeah, he's a 5-drop. He's a fairy tale, so he can be searched out with Grim. And when he comes into play, he basically locks down a resonator your opponent controls, and it doesn't recover. And then whenever it attacks, as continuously whenever it attacks, it basically does the exact same thing to another creature. Yeah, it seems.
The
I
only
mean,
downside of this card is that it's a 5-drop, so it's relatively slow, but like Javier saying, with the cards we're going to talk about in green, like you can get them out on turn 3 or 4 relatively consistently.
and the simple fact that you can keep searching them out and with the Grim seems pretty nuts. And the fact that he's 1,000.
Like, how is your opponent reasonably going to deal with 2 of these?
Yeah, it's a simple fact that it's like when he comes into play, you have to answer him. Otherwise, it's just going to get out of hand.
Of course, that does.
yeah.
If your opponent has been aggroing you while you've been ramping, and you have only been using like this to sort of stabilize, then you're still susceptible to cards like, I believe the Wolf Girl, which can just sort of haste and get at you, which could
Yeah.
be like the defining moment, or just burning you out with spells. So you have to like shore up your early game so you don't die to like the haste creatures or the burn spells. But besides that,
Yeah.
because this card is very good against anything that doesn't have haste. Obviously, you're just arresting things.
Yep. You're just locking down whatever they play.
I'm glad it
And
doesn't. It doesn't affect J rulers though. You can't do it on J rulers. Just resonators
Yeah,
makes this
oh
card
God,
more
that'd
balanced.
be probably way too busted.
Yeah, I mean we're
But,
we're verging on there. It's 1,000
Yeah.
effect, but
Yeah, still, it's. I mean, it's yeah, it's really really good. So
I expect this card to be one of the standouts for sure.
yeah, so Heavenly Feathered Robe is the next one. It's a 3 water edition. It's a another treasury item. It's continuous. Add this to a resonator with a total cost of 2 or less, and gain control of it. Attribute of that resonator becomes water. So it's basically a control magic for anything 2 or less.
It's
Like it.
Cabal.
It's Cabal Shadow Priest in a spell form, and for a triple
Yeah.
blue, which makes it a little hard to play. But if you're like, if blue is your main color or your only color, I would run it for sure.
Yeah,
Like it's just such a
Definitely.
solid card against like those aggro decks.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, you
take
just
your
basically
board,
take
make it
control of it.
mine, and yeah, you're switching, field advantage.
If you stole
Like-
something that that has already been on the board for a full turn cycle, can it also attack that turn?
No, I think once you gain control of something,
It has to wait another time.
I think it has to. It has to wait. I don't think
Unless it has haste.
something like Swiftness. Yeah,
Like
now,
if you
there's
take
been
some,
nothing-
if you can easily take a haste creature with this and just get in there,
yeah.
or like attack a creature with it, that's so good. I think
Yeah, it
that's one
seems
of the
really
main
good.
cards that Blue's going to use to combat aggression. Because you take one of their haste creatures like the 1-drop and kill something else they attacked with. It's like a 2-for-1.
Yeah. Well, nothing would be worse than like your opponent. Like I would, I slam deep ones. This is a 2-drop, and you just turn around and just steal it from me. And it's like, well, that's kind of sucks. So
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Oh man, that's something else
Yeah, that was-
in the blue mirrors.
that would
Deep
be-
ones.
oh, yeah, that would be kind of heartbreaking. But
Yeah.
so we have Inquisition. It's a 1-drop.
I'm
for
already
blue.
intrigued because it's a 1-drop blue spell.
Yeah, I know, right? So you rest 2 untap. You tap. I'm just gonna talk with.
You
Yeah.
rest 2 recovered resonators you
Yeah.
control. If your ruler is Nameless Girl or the J ruler Joan of Arc, the Flame of Hatred, rest one of your recovered resonators you control instead. If you do, destroy that target or destroy target resonator. Its controller may copy the spell and may choose new targets for that copy.
I don't like that your opponent gets to copy that.
Yeah,
Not on board with that.
yeah. You get to do something and then your opponent gets to do the same thing.
It seemed promising as a 1-drop spell, but it was less so.
Yeah, it's.
Watch it be broken. I just don't understand the combos
Well,
surrounding it. But
Yeah, like I said, if your opponent's just got a field of busted crap and you've got, or just like one thing, and then
if you have nothing,
and you have nothing, yeah, that.
well, no, you'd have to have something because you're tapping something.
Oh yeah, true. You have
Never
to
mind.
tap. Yeah, you're right. So I mean, if you have crap on your board and your opponent's got like something insane, then yes, maybe. But for the most part, it just seems like a card that's not going to be that great.
Combo card, I guess.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I kind of like it as just a 1-mana removal spell. I mean, you tap one, like they play something big, and you have really nothing, and you just kind of tap your guy.
Mhm.
I mean, granted, if you're going to play this, you're going to be playing with the Jade ruler, Joan of Arc, or the ruler. You're basically going to be playing with either the named cards, the ruler cards in here. So, the simple fact that you're just tapping, a guy, and like, because we'll get to a couple cards later on that I'm perfectly fine with them dying, going to the graveyard, and then getting like
Right. But
Cheshire Cat.
the thing is, your opponent
Yeah,
gets to
I'm
choose the
perfectly
card
fine
they
with
kill.
like it dying. Yeah, but that's fine. But if I don't have any creatures, it's
Well, you have to have a
you know,
creature because you have to
it's
rest one.
Yeah.
well, that's what I'm saying. Well, you rest one, but then what are they? I mean, what are they going to do? I mean, most of the blue cards are pretty weak from what I've seen for the most part. But
We'll see.
It seems.
I don't know. I kind of like it. I just like
It would also be better as an
one mana
instant for
rule
sure.
spells. Yeah. I think it'd be too good as an instant.
You're probably right.
I think it would probably cost 2 if it was an instant, but it definitely it's not too bad. So
Alright, so here's a pretty cool card, and it is the 1-drop Were-Rabbit that you were talking about that might exist.
Yeah.
We found one, Night of the New Moon, and it's a pretty good one too. It's a 0/2, but it's a 1-drop Were-Rabbit, so it pumps up the other guy. And its activate is to rest it, draw a card, then discard a card. If he's laughing at me, he's gonna get the.
Caps.
He's gotta get the
Oh,
boot
nice.
from the room.
he showed me something.
I'm so done with Facebook ads.
So Pat, just a little side note, Pat. The person with CLG, he was looking at his Facebook and it says, "Which celebrity you look like?" And it showed Justin Bieber. And he's like, "I'm done with Facebook." He just throws his phone across the room. So he's completely done. But so yeah, our 1-drop Were-Rabbit, and it has the Merfolk Looter ability, which is a magic card. You just tap, draw a card, and then discard a card. I love filtering as a control player, being able to filter my cards. I mean, it seems pretty good. I mean, I'm all about draw power and getting rid of bad cards in my hand for something
Because there's
a
so
little bit
many.
better.
And this
Yeah.
also this triggers it's with numerous blue cards that has synergy. Like you play this, and obviously the one we just scrolled up to, the Were-Rabbit on turn 2,
Mhm.
and you're also like powering your deep blue thing,
Yeah.
deep ones. Like later
Yeah.
in the game, you drop that after you're discarding your resonators, and it's just amazing.
That's a lot of synergy. So we get our next ruler J ruler combo with Nameless Girl and Joan of Arc. The Nameless Girl's J
Joan of
activation,
Arc.
J ruler activation.
I don't know.
Yeah, is the pay 1 red, 1 blue, and 2 colorless. If a human is put into your graveyard from a field this turn, you may pay 0 to play it instead. Seems pretty
like how
good.
you'd want to do it. I'm
Yeah.
no gambling man,
And
but I
then-
guess I guess some of these decks wouldn't even run red.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
I mean,
Now we
can
have
use the little tutor thing, the filter
No.
card, the Night of New Moon, to drop
No,
the
you can't.
humans.
It says you have to put it from the field this
Oh,
time.
from the field.
Yeah.
Boo.
so the art seems pretty nice on Joan of Arc.
Yeah,
She
that-
her
that kid's
enter
hanging
her
out.
enter ability is pretty simple. Destroy all other humans. Yeah, so seems pretty good. Her activation, her tap activation, is prevent all damage from target human resonator until end of turn. Not bad. And her activation is pay red and a colorless. It deals 500 damage to target human.
She
Alright.
doesn't.
Not too
She
bad.
does not like humans.
No, she
Does
doesn't.
not like humans at all.
I mean, I think the card's
it's-
alright.
She's not bad. I mean, she's a 1200.
I mean, it's very good against humans and like not insane against anything else, but it's still huge. So decent ruler, I guess.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, have we seen any? I think Charles VII was the only human we've talked about so far, right?
Probably there's another one coming up in the next card.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we have another human here. 1 inch boy.
That
So,
name is
two
hilarious.
drop.
I don't know if there's like some lore here in fairy tales that I don't know. Wait,
He's like Tom
Lucky
Thumb,
I'm
like
small.
with Tom Thumb. Is that it?
I guess
No, he's.
yeah.
I think I don't know. He's just literally a 1 inch. His flavor text is lucky. I'm small. I can clearly see all your weak points. Okay.
Also,
But,
could mean something else entirely. Poor
Yeah,
guy.
pretty much. Yeah. So he's a fairy tale human. Continuous is whenever he deals damage to a resonator, destroy that resonator. So he pretty
Touch,
much
Slayer,
kind of has
whatever.
death touch. Yeah. Doesn't seem too bad. I mean, it's
I like him.
a really solid defensive card.
You're gonna run it
Uh,
if you run Nameless Girl, and obviously
Yeah.
the J-Ruler side. What are you doing? Where are you going? You're pulling the headphones. You see yourself leaving the scope of the webcam, Carl.
I know. On purpose.
Not bad. Yeah, I mean it's a solid little 2-drop for blue. Very defensive. Yeah, I mean I kind of like him.
Yep.
So
Yeah, it's good. I
Okay,
mean,
poker
it's a shame, but he's good.
Shane Pickett.
Yeah.
He makes up
Now
for
we have
what he has in
we have
size and
another-
playability.
We have another moon card, Pale Moon. It's 2 colors, 1 blue. Each Were Rabbit gets plus 200. 200. This is continuous. And as activate as you pay a blue, banish this card and return. It bounces a creature. So
I like it. Were Rabbit synergy. That's
Yeah.
just something you probably play if you're on rabbits, I guess.
no, seems pretty straightforward. And yeah, I mean,
Bounce effects
Being
are always
able to-
welcome. People are going to underestimate those, but that's Pale Moon. Just sometime in the future, something is getting bounced.
yeah, I mean, the simple fact that I mean, being able to tempo your opponent and being able to drop something and then bounce whatever they just play, it just seems really good. So
All right, so let's
And so
talk
now
about
we have
the
Rabbit Kick.
insanity of Rabbit Kick.
I
Card is
know,
crazy.
right? Nice art, and it's a 2-drop. You choose one. Return bounce a creature, or return up to 2 creatures to the owner's hand if you control Were Rabbit Resignator.
Like I'm sure everyone's going to do
So
these cute Rapunzel things,
the
and you just
tempo of
Rabbit Kick
this
their whole board.
spell is nuts. Yeah, it's just really good. I mean, it's a simple fact that you're bouncing 2 creatures as an instant, mind you. You're bouncing 2 creatures with 2 mana. Okay, no, it's
Yep.
everything that blue kind of wants to do. I mean, it's
Double unsummon.
yeah, you just double unsummon. So
Now, I have to
yeah,
ask,
really, really, really.
Because I thought something about draft. I don't know if I'm correct. Is there draft in this game?
I mean, I'm pretty sure there is. I mean, I don't see why not.
Well, there's only
I
10
think
card
every
packs,
pack
which
comes
is-
with a mana stone. Yeah, but I think doesn't. I don't know. I've never opened any product, so I don't have a bunch of product ordered, but I haven't opened any. But I would think you'd be able to draft this. I mean, this seems like it'd be a really fun draft set.
Yeah, I mean, just because
Hard.
Magic packs have 14 cards plus a land, so 9 cards plus a stone would be a little bit worse, I guess. But you could still
Yeah.
do it. If this is a supported game for draft, though, the fact this is called double blue makes it a lot more. You have to think of more to include cards like this in your deck, and Lugaroo, double blue as opposed
Yeah.
to just 1 blue is it's a much steeper cost considering you're probably going to be in more than one color. So you have to think about
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah,
Speaking
but this
of
is something I could
draft, what
definitely
happens
see
if you don't
draft.
pull a ruler?
I don't know.
That's a pretty
I mean,
good
it's-
question.
I know. Well, the thing is there's only the box ratios. I'm pretty sure there are only 1 to 3 rulers per box.
So
So
then I guess you can't draft this game.
I guess you can't. I mean, I guess you can't. I don't know. I would probably still have a. I
I
don't
was
know.
hoping
I could
it'd be a
still
supported
see.
format, but I suppose not. I guess I can
Yeah,
just live with no draft since we have sideboards.
Unless you just
Yeah.
bring your own ruler.
Yeah, but that'd be weird,
Yeah.
because then you might accidentally draft every other color but the one your ruler is.
I don't know. This is something I could see doing to where I would just, I would probably just supply the ruler, and you would then draft, or you would draft and then I would just supply the ruler and you kind of draft, just kind of
Yeah.
as a fun format. I don't know if it's something that
That is
They would
competitively
do,
speaking,
but-
but I'm wrong.
Yeah. But yeah, so our next is another 1-drop. It's an Addition Resonator Arcane item, Ratcatcher's Pipe. It's a continuous. The Resonator with this gains tap. Basically, you just tap it to tap something else. Then, if the Resonator with this is Hamlin's Pied Piper, it gains Activate, Pay Blue, Recover this card. Oh, okay. So there's a combo with whatchamacallit, right? You put Ratcatcher's Pipe on Hamlin's Pied Piper with what's her name? With
the-
Rapunzel.
Rapunzel, yeah.
And so yeah, you pay a bunch of blue, and then you just tap. You tap Pied Piper over and over and over again, and there you go. You kind of got multiple activations of Rapunzel. I mean, I don't know if that's the combo, but it seems
It is a
seems like it
combo.
would work really well. Yeah, it's just definitely a combo. You can get multiple activations out of it, so not too bad. And you can always pay 1 blue to return it to your hand. So seems pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Got another
Next is
ruler
a-
here.
Another ruler here, another ruler J ruler combo. You have Seer of the Blue Moon. So J activate is pay 0. You cannot play this ability if you haven't put any treasury items in a field this turn.
Oh boy. Synergy.
Yeah. Yeah. Continuous, you may pay 1 to put. This is what I talked about earlier. This is the one you can pay 1 to put chance standby cards in your chance standby area rather than paying 2. Then the J ruler is Kaguya, Princess of the Moon. Its activate is pay 0. Change the text of target treasury item by replacing all instances of one attribute with another one until end of turn. or you can pay 2 blue and a colorless, search your main deck for a treasury item, reveal it, put it to your hand, then
Uh-oh.
shuffle your deck.
The combo's coming together.
People are gonna try to
Uh-oh.
make it.
It's yeah.
I mean, this card is actually the first
We're
Ruler
done.
2 that can't battle. It has no stats, so it's basically just a normal ruler, except yeah, it's just it.
It's literally just searching out everything. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how powerful changing the text of the treasury item from one attribute to another is, but I mean, I haven't seen all the treasury items, but I don't know if that's actually worth it. But I don't know. Overall, it just doesn't seem too good.
Yeah, but cute.
Now, how big are decks in this game?
40 with 4 of any card.
40 cards. Yeah.
40 maximum?
Yeah, no, I mean,
You can
No,
build
I don't.
bigger
I
than
don't think
40?
it's a
I think it's
max.
40 to 60.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's 40 to 60 for the most part. I mean, competitive players are. I mean, rush decks are going to play 40. Your control decks might play a little bit more. I know there's they called it Chronos Deck Out or whatever. That was
Yeah,
a
I'm not
deck.
insane, so I'm just gonna play 40 and hit my curve, you guys. I don't know about you, but
Yeah, I'm glad y'all finally realized about those 40 card decks.
Hey.
But, but yeah, so
something
our
about
next
your
one-
legacy tournament experience.
That's right. So, Servant of Kaguya is the next one. 2-drop 1 blue. It's flying Were Rabbit. Another Were Rabbit here. This card gets plus 400 for each treasury item you control.
The combo's
Ooh.
coming
Oh.
together.
This one's actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I could see
A
a
3-drop
flying.
8/8 flying? Mm.
Yeah, it seems pretty good. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it seems pretty good. It's a Were Rabbit. Ideally, you'll have a treasury item maybe in play. So a flying 800 seems pretty good.
Yeah.
So next one is another 3-drop. Skirmer of the Dark. Art seems pretty interesting. It's another Cthulhu Resonator. I don't know if we have a Cthulhu ruler yet, but that would be pretty sick. It's a 3-drop 1,000. Okay, so it's continuous ability. At the beginning of your main phase, put the top 3 cards from your Magic Stone deck into your graveyard. If you cannot put 3 cards into your graveyard this way, banish this card and you lose 1,000 life. If you have less than 3 cards in your Magic Stone deck, put all cards from your Magic Stone deck into your graveyard instead. So he's basically just a really big creature, low cost, with a pretty drastic kind of a really drastic drawback.
So if you're
With,
running
you know,
mono
both.
blue though, you're carving out at like I assume 4 or 5. So it's not like you need to keep getting Magic Stone cards, but you don't
Yeah.
want to banish this guy and take 1,000 obviously. So I think you might just jam 20 blue stones and call it a day if you're running that deck.
Yeah, if this is a guy that you're playing, I mean, the simple fact that your mana stones are a completely different deck altogether. The simple fact that you can just you get this guy on 3.
And if you jam 20 stones, you have
or
like 3 to 4
even,
turns of
you
attacking
can
before
manage
it
to get
dies.
him on 2.
I think whatever the math is.
So they have a lot of jumping to do, or a lot of they bounce. I don't know. It's just the simple fact that it just seems like he'd be good, but he seems like a real trap card, another trap card, to where it's just like I play it, and then the next turn, I get the mill activation, all of a sudden it gets bounced in my hand, or it gets banished again or something.
However,
So, I mean,
if they
it's-
use like numerous resources to banish it, like actually dealing 1,000 to it, then that would be pretty good because it doesn't
Yeah,
deal
it's-
1,000 to you in that instance.
yeah.
That would be pretty good.
So I mean, it's definitely, and in the war of attrition or whatever, it could be something that could be, if they're having to use a lot to get rid of it, then yeah, it's serving its purpose.
I mean, if the game
I
is
mean,
going
if-
along, this is obviously not really the end game threat you want to be dropping because it'll only live for like a turn or 2 probably. So. Not
Yeah, it
big.
just winds up being a dead card in your hand probably at that point. But the one thing I do like is I'm pretty sure the way the game's played is like you don't have to charge a mana every turn because you have to rest your ruler to
Yeah,
get a
you
mana
don't.
stone.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, yeah. So I mean, you could. It's a lot of. It's definitely a card that can be really good. Insane early pressure if you get him early enough, or it's just as the game goes later. I don't know. Still a 3-drop 1,000 can't be that bad, I guess. But our next one is another treasury item. 1 water stone bowl of Buddha. You tap it to tap target. Target resignator cannot be blocked by water resignators until end of turn. Now, so this seems really pretty good, at least in like a sideboard. kind of card.
Or main board if you have to get all 5 treasury items. If you're running
Yeah,
that
yeah,
deck.
that's true. Yeah, if you're just trying to get there. So
But besides that,
That's-
it's just like a decent sideboard card, I guess.
yeah, it's pretty straightforward card. Yeah, I would hate to see it played against me whenever I'm sitting there playing a water style deck or water themed list. So
And the water mirror matches just sideboard these in, both players, and it's there now. Nothing is getting blocked.
and probably one of I guess one of my favorite cards in water is it's a 4-drop Swords of Another Full Moon. It's a super rare. It's a 900 that has flying, and when it enters the play, it simply bounces a creature.
Yeah,
So
I'm a fan of
Kaijuda
this.
players, Kaijuda players, it's a Rusalka, or it's a Mana War Magic. It's a flying 900 for 4.
It's a big ass
we played on, like,
unblockable Rusalka.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just tempos your opponent. It seems really, really good. So,
Real reason Bear likes it is because she's showing ass.
yeah, she's showing a lot of ass there.
Y'all are some
But,
weird people.
Yeah, good old anime, the anime boy, our Seguras of the group and
Did
everything.
Segura
like
draw
cards
this
like
card?
Yeah, probably.
The artist credit.
Clearly nipples.
Yep,
Whatever sells the game.
pretty much.
But yeah, good card.
It's our
Obviously,
next
where
card.
Rabbit's the tempo deck of blue.
Yeah, and so probably one of the staple cards in blue. It's our last blue card.
Fix your
But
connection.
definitely one of the
there.
staple blue cards. I think is it? My connection's pretty shitty.
I don't know. Maybe it's
Well,
fine.
you
Can
just
you hear
keep
me now?
breaking up.
It's probably this mic. Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Is this
I can hear
loud better?
Yeah.
All right. So the last card in blue, probably I don't know. It's not Swordsman of the Full Moon. This is probably my favorite card in blue for this set. Voice of the False God. It's whenever it's an instant. You banish a resignator you control. You draw 2 cards. If you banish a human, you draw 3. Huge fan of drawing cards. Being able to chump block, and then sack a guy and then draw 3 cards seems pretty.
This is
nutty,
also
especially-
insane with the hero that triggers by paying 0 if you've banished a human this turn, because you just play this, banish a human, draw 3 cards, and trigger.
Yep.
Where is it? Where am I talking about?
What are you talking about?
The hero that when you pay, yeah, like if you
You talking
If
about
you-
Nameless Girl going into
Yeah.
Joan of Arc?
I forgot
Yeah.
the name, but Nameless Girl. You can just play a spell, draw 3 cards, and go to Joan of Arc. So that's cool. That's really good.
Yeah, it seems really, 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 really good. So, and I think double checking something. Definitely jumping ahead, but wanted to check something. And
Moving on to green in a minute, guys.
okay, yeah, no, that won't work. But yeah, we're moving on to green. So our first green card is Absolute Cake Zone.
Lovely.
I can get behind a card like this. Fat kids love cake.
Yeah.
So it's which this is completely weird. I mean, coming from Magic, the simple fact that it's a 1 colorless, 1 green instant, and it's basically a counter spell. It counters any normal spell, which is
Already
anything.
good.
Yeah, it counters any instance, standbys or chance or whatever. And if you control Hansel or Gretel, you draw a card. And so it's basically Remand. So
Very
Remand for
happy
Magic.
that a
except it's
staple is
third hand.
named Absolute Cake Zone.
I know, right? Like, I would love to be in a cake zone. So
I'm sure many people will be when this game is released.
Bear dreams of cake.
I know, right? See, children would do anything for sweets. So, but our next theme card basically is Aramis from the Three Musketeers. He's a 3-drop. I think they're all 3 or 4 drops for the most part. I can't remember. But he is a fairy tale musketeer. And when he enters the battle zone, he's a 500/500. When he enters the battle zone, you get a green will for each musketeer resonator you control.
So bad late
So-
game, but it can be some explosive plays on turn 3, it seems like. If you can curve into
Yeah, it seems like you can. I mean, if you just kind of, yeah, it seems pretty good. I mean, he seems weak for a 3-drop, but I mean, in essence, I mean, that's I don't know. I kind of like the way he kind of works with maybe Grim, because you can play him on turn 2, or I mean, you can play him Yeah, you can just play him and then get the enough back to activate, have a Grim activation if you play him. So I don't know, it seems interesting. He's a musketeer, so there must be something that kind of goes along with him. So, speaking of that, we have Athos. He's a 4-drop musketeer. He's a fairy tale musketeer, and he's an 800. So power and tough, or the attack and defense is a little bit better. When he enters, his ability is search your main deck for a resignator, an addition resignator, reveal it and put it into your hand. If your ruler is Puss in Boots, or your J ruler is D'Artagnan, the Bayonetter, you may put the card onto this card instead. So that actually seems really good.
Yep, and I really
So-
hope my ruler's Puss in Boots.
Puss in
Puss in
Boots.
Boots, oh my god.
Person birds, oh my god. So yeah, he basically comes in. He just comes equipped with, I'm pretty sure there has to be something in green. So the biggest baddest thing that you can possibly put on him, he's going to come with it. So definitely a very formidable 4-drop. So
So 3 Musketeers, man, ain't nothing to be fucked with.
they come in correct.
Ruler
They
J
got
ruler
swords
time.
and shit. Oh, another J ruler. So we got Christy the Wind Tracker here. She's an elf. J activate is 2 green, 2 colorless. If your opponent controls a vampire, immortal, or werewolf resonator, you may pay 0 to play this ability instead. So yeah, that seems pretty nutty.
Yeah.
Her activation is tap, draw a card. You cannot play this ability if you don't have exactly 5 cards in hand. So it has
Something to do if
a,
you have this guy out still, or if you have her out still, and you've already got enough mana stones that game, or will stones.
yeah. I mean, it's basically Library of Alexandria from Magic. Library is if you have 7. You can only use it if you have 7. This is basically you can only use it if you have 5. So draw anytime you have a free draw. A draw effect is really good. Her J ruler, of course, is wait.
Helsing.
Extremely
Is it Helsing?
sensual.
Oh,
Helsing
Jesus
the Vampire
Christ.
Hunter, right?
Helsing the Vampire Hunter, yeah.
Vampire.
Enter the Vampire, yeah.
Put some pants on.
Target non-human J Resignator loses all abilities until end of turn. At the end of turn, destroy it. Seems pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, that's
She
a
just-
good counter to any other J ruler.
She just kind of just jumps in and just kills something. Like, here's the thing though, like, how early can you activate her? Because she seems like she would just be completely busted.
What do
Like,
you mean?
you just do you just auto scoop if you're playing werewolves to this card?
You don't bring out your J ruler, I think. That's what I would do. But
Well,
I guess even on
it's
turn
target-
1,
It's target non-human J/Resignator, so it's
Yeah,
J
you can
ruler or
use it on
Resignator, right?
yeah, you can use it on a
And
resonator.
it's an inner
Yeah.
effect too, so she has to die first before you can use it again.
Yeah, but still, you flip.
Yeah, like
you
if you
flip it
play
on
a werewolf
turn-
on turn 1 and this comes out on turn 2 and just kills it, and it's 1,000.
Yeah, yeah, you're just like sitting there, looking at 1,000 touting. That blah, can't talk right now. So, but yeah, she seems really good.
But then they
Especially
kill
if
it
that
and you lose
matchup's-
2,000 life points. So
Yeah, but I guess if there's a way to easily kill it. But, 1,000's a lot to get through. But I think it's possibly a way to kill it. Werewolves especially
Yeah,
seems like they would have a
so-
hard time with it, but not everyone's going to be using this hero, so it's kind of a necessary risk, I guess.
Yeah. So next card is a place I wouldn't mind going is a Cottage of Cakes. It's a 1 green. It's a 1 green addition filled house. It's continuous. Hansel and Gretel. If you control Hansel and Gretel, it cannot be no, they just can't be the target of spells or abilities.
We got there, guys.
So yeah, we got there. Activate, pay a green, tap, remove target resonator you control from the game, or you can pay a green, tap it, banish this card, return all resonators removed from the game by this card into your field. So
Seems right. You can
yeah,
use
it's
the
definitely
activate
interesting.
to evade removal. If your opponent's going to kill something, you can just tap activate, remove it from the game instead, then later bring it back.
It's pretty self-explanatory.
You
Pretty
can use it
sure
just to make sure Hansel and Gretel can't be targeted. Just a 1-drop that does
pretty
that.
much.
Alright.
So Cowrie of Swallows.
Oh boy.
It's the 2 swallows. That art very suggestive, but it's 2 colors, 1 green. Activate, tap, target wind resonator cannot be targeted by spells or abilities your opponent controls until the end of turn. Seems really good.
Oh yes.
I like cards like this.
Mhm.
So good, and you get no treasury items. So good. But yeah, pretty straightforward card. I don't think there's really anything.
Not broken or anything, but pretty good. I like
Yeah.
it.
So next we have a Crucifix, 2 green, continuous resonator with this gains -1000/-1000 if it's a vampire. Otherwise, it cannot be attacked or targeted by spells or abilities your opponent controls.
Probably just a sideboard card because the second effect is actually not that insane, I guess. Like, maybe it is if you're protecting something insane, but I don't know. Mostly, maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, I don't know. The simple fact that you can pay to, I mean, I don't know. It's
It's
I don't know.
anti-vampire decks. That's really what
You
its
play
main effect
Athos
is,
and yeah. I mean, you can go and you play Athos, and then you have an untargetable 800/800.
Yeah, I mean, things can still be blocked, so I'm sort of iffy on this card, but
Yeah. Okay, so now it looks like we have an elf, a nice slew of elves that seem pretty. Now, that actually seems really good. So it's a 1-drop 300/300 elf that you activate to tap to destroy target addition.
yep.
Seems really good.
Yep.
I mean, just
yeah, solid.
all day.
Yeah, there's a lot more additions than I thought in this game, so that's good.
Yeah. Next is the 2-drop Elvish Exorcist. It enters and destroys target vampire resonator. Seems like a very good sideboard card.
Yeah.
Pretty decent stats for a 2-drop. The next is an Elvish Priest, which I'd probably play all day long.
Oh my god, yes. What is this
It's
card?
basically-
It's Elvish Mystic, right?
Yeah, it's Elvish Mystic, Llanowar Elf, insert whatever. But if I wish my Llanowar Elves were 100 400s. But yeah, it's yeah, exactly, Pat. Yeah, Pat goes, wait, what? So yeah,
To
it's
produce a
exactly
green will.
very solid
Will.
card. Probably one of the best green cards I've seen so far.
Yeah.
Combine
Yeah.
that with the Gretel.
Oh, who cares? I mean,
You
mana's
know, like, that's
yeah,
how you get your
mana's-
Pied Piper on turn 5.
yeah, mana is amazing. So, and the fact that he's a 1-drop. So, next is a rare, Fina the Silver Player. It's a 3-drop, 2 green, 1 colorless. If your ruler is Christy the Wind Tracker or J Ruler Helsing the Vampire Hunter, each resonator your opponent controls loses its symbol skills. So the continuous is each other elf you control gains 400/400. So holy crap, that actually seems pretty good.
I'm into elves now.
Yeah,
I'm still gonna wolf people,
Elves
but
seem
I'm gonna
really
elf
good.
people on the side.
Someone call Bucky.
I mean, it seems really good. I mean, the simple fact that you have a really solid lineup of elves here, and there's other elves as well, but just in these like 4 or 5 cards, really good. Pat's like, oh, I'm playing
I think
elves.
it's symbol
'cause,
skills.
I mean, you
So-
could just Elvish Priest to Fina.
Yeah,
Final?
they're
But the symbol skills are
Yeah,
like
Fina.
activate and enter, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything that requires, I think it's anything that requires anything like tapping or any of those type of activation abilities or whatever. So, Gretel, this is my love cards like this. It's 2-drop. It's a fairy tale human. Apparently, fairy tale and being a fairy tale and human seems to be really, really
I
good.
think Rob just went into a cave. It's fine though.
Yeah. Oh, did I?
No, you're fine now.
Cool.
You're back. Don't.
Yay! All right. Well, basically, she enters when she enters play, you reveal top card of your Magic Stone deck. If it's a Wind Magic Stone, you put it into your Magic Stone area. So she ramps you if you reveal a Wind Magic Stone.
And you probably will if you build the deck right.
Yeah, if you build the deck correctly, she's basically a guaranteed mana ramp. So she's very small, but simple fact that she just ramps you. Ramp in almost any game is usually pretty good, especially if you can get to some. We haven't got to anything, but if we can get to some big creatures, I mean, granted the dragon was pretty good, but
Yep.
yeah. So
Well, if
And
you're
then we
ramping
have-
to like a dragon, like if you're running red-green monsters, you just I think run the priest because you're producing a green, which can be used for the colorless on the dragon. But this is like you have to run all wind magic stones, and if you're running the dragon, you're not doing that, obviously.
Yeah.
So this is sort of like for the combo deck with Grim.
Yeah.
Elvish Priest is sort of for any other deck that wants to ramp to big things, or just elves in general.
or just you get to the you just ramp into things. So
Yep, ramping the things.
Uh,
It's a good
next
strategy.
is Hansel. It's a 3-drop. This the little combo piece with Gretel. They kind of
He's
go
a
together. Little
super
theme.
rare too, by the way. Ooh.
Yeah. Another fairy tale human. Continuous. This card cannot be attacked as long as you can control Gretel, which seems really good. And whenever this card deals damage to an opponent, draw a card.
Arco Seneschal!
Woo!
Yay!
Yay! I'm very, very happy with Thieving Magpies and Seneschal type effects.
At least this one has to deal damage. Also, if you block it according to you, you wouldn't get the effect because if Resonator is not an opponent.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't get the effect in this case.
Yeah.
But it's probably ways to deal with your opponent's guys.
Still pretty solid card. Nice little duo.
It's good stats for
next-
3-drop, 4/7. I think.
Yeah,
Is it pretty good?
4/7. Yeah, pretty good.
It's pretty not bad.
Definitely
Pretty
above
not
above the curve as far as they go. So
Interesting.
next card is 2-drop Law of Silence. Target player cannot play normal spells and summon spells until the end of turn. It's an instant. Love this card because I don't know why green has it in this game. I guess they're just going against the I guess the traditional color pie of the majority of all the other games that are out there. Usually this would be a blue spell, but
Like I said, they're
but yeah,
switching things
target
up.
switching it up. But yeah, the simple fact that you can't play any normal spells or summons until end of turn, and it's just a 2-drop.
So what qualifies as not normal? Just a J-Ruler?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like normal, anything that's not a normal spell is let's see.
Wait, additions. You can play
don't think-
additions.
I don't think. Yeah. I don't think additions. That's what I'm saying. I don't think additions are whatever.
Okay.
Because the 2 type of spells, there's normal spells, which are chance, instants, and standbys, and then you have summon spells, which are you're just straight up resonators.
Mhm.
So yeah, the simple fact that I can keep you from playing a creature seems really good. Another 1-drop resonator, Musketeer's Bayonet. Resonator with this gains 400. Okay, so this is what I'd probably put on the Musketeer, but it gets 400, and if it's a Musketeer, it gets first strike and Pierce, which Pierce is
trample,
basically
right?
trample, if I remember right.
So you're like beating a guy
Yeah,
in
it's
battle
like
that blocked
if you
you,
deal
and then the
more
rest
than
of
their
it's,
defense, then
the rest of it goes to their face.
yeah. Say I have a 1,000, you block with a 600, I'm going to deal 400 damage to you.
Yep. Good for those Musketeer strategies if they pop up.
Yeah.
I don't know what's viable yet, but this is good in that.
Yeah, it seems. I mean, Grim seems good. Looks like green in general seems pretty good. Porthos, another Musketeer. Porthos, the 3 Musketeers. He's a fairy tale Musketeer. So all these Musketeers would actually be searched up by a Grim. So that's pretty sexy. It has Pierce. If this card deals more battle damage, okay, so it just gives
Good.
the explanation. So yeah, there we go.
We know what
It's
Pierce
just
is now.
700. Yeah, it is 700, 400.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty self-explanatory, and it's another Musketeer. So
Like, you gotta think
Now-
too that that's what makes the fire spell, the lightning one, so good, is because you just play it for 1 and deal this kill this thing that has a 3 cost. That's a huge tempo advantage in your favor for the aggro deck.
yeah, you're basically paying 1 mana to take care of 3 mana. It's
Mhm.
definitely very cost efficient. So now we got our our next J ruler combo. It's Puss in Boots.
Yes,
I have to admit the art on this is actually really, really good.
I'm so happy with that.
Look at the little kitten.
It's
It's just
so good.
I'm gonna
He's
play this
gotta
card
have-
whether it's good or not.
Shout out to all the little memes that they used to have. A little Pusheen. Yeah.
Pusheen is not a meme.
Well, whatever it was, you know what I'm talking
old
about.
man.
I am pretty old, but you kids and your memes and stuff. But you J activate, you pay 9. Okay, if you control Athos, the 3 Musketeers, you pay 3 less to play this ability. So does Aramis and Port. So if you have the 3 Musketeers, it costs
Pay
you 3
0.
less for each one. Yeah. Continuous, you may pay 1 less to play Musketeer Resonators. So all of your Musketeers actually cost 1 less. So Porthos is a 2-drop.
Yeah, so yeah, this is your hero. They all cost less than you eventually get to J-activate into.
And you get to activate into D'Artagnan. D'Artagnan is
The big Matisse.
1,800. Has Pierce. It has target attack. So you can attack recovered J/resonators. And each Musketeer resonator you control gains plus 400 plus 400.
I like it.
Yeah, so that makes does that automatically make him a 1,400, 1,200?
Is this a Musketeer? Yeah.
Yeah, he's a
He
musketeer.
is.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's a
so
big dude.
That's a big dude.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big dude. Jesus Christ.
And if you're running mono green, you can run both the Elvish card and Gretel, I believe, to ramp you.
Yep.
Like, you have so much ramp and you're getting them out sooner because of Puss in Boots. I don't know how the cat became D'Artagnan, though, because Red Riding Hood just, she gained a tail, and that was pretty much it. We were
No,
just changing
Red Riding
species.
Hood had a tail. If you go back up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she
already-
became the wolf girl.
No, but she already had a tail.
Never mind. She just gained, like, ears, claws, something. I don't know. We're just changing species now.
That's right. So the last, well, it's not the last one. The next to last green card is Siege Warfare. It's a 5-drop standby spell. Its ruler is Puss in Boots or D'Artagnan, and you control the 3 Musketeers, destroy target Resonator or J Ruler.
Okay. I can get behind that.
Yeah. If you have every single piece of the, the puzzle, then you get to do some cool stuff.
What's
So,
nice is
yeah.
that they're all good on their own.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if this
Yeah,
is
they're
particularly
really good
worth
on
it,
their
but
own.
it's there.
Yeah. All right. Our last green card's a spell. 2-drop Silver Bullet. If your ruler is Christy Windtracker or Helsing the Vampire Hunter, you may pay 1 less to pay for this. To play this card, so it'll be it just costs 1 green. Search your main deck for a Wind Resonator, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Then shuffle your main deck.
Wow.
So it's a tutor for 1. Seems really good.
Yeah.
Love tutors for 1. Yeah. It's definitely a vampire tutor that you don't have to pay mana for. So I'm not sure. I haven't seen all the wind. I have to go look.
We just saw the one from this one.
Yeah.
Fiasco
Really,
was starting
really,
to go
really
run
good.
Christie, and then I can't run werewolves. That's
Yeah.
unfortunate. Damn it.
Well, now we're
Guys,
getting to darkness now, though, and a card that I'm actually pretty excited about, besides Grim. And it's Alucard, the Dark Noble. Yeah. J activate is pay 0. You cannot play this ability if you don't control the Vampire Resonator, and a Resonator your opponent controlled hasn't entered a graveyard this turn. His activation is you tap him. Target Resonator gets -0, -300 until end of turn. Which
Can
seems
you J
really
activate on
good.
your opponent's turn? You can't, right?
Yes,
You can?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know if you can. I mean, I could be wrong, but I
Not that
think
you'd
you
always want
could.
to, but maybe if you're paying actual mana, then you'd want to.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, more than likely, you're really just the first couple of turns, you're just putting mana into play. But you go straight to his J Ruler. This is Dracula, the demonic one. Flying, of course. Imperishable. This card would, if this card would be destroyed, move this card to your ruler area as a ruler without losing any abilities.
Ooh.
Seems really good. And then continuous. Whenever a Resonator your opponent controls is put into a graveyard, if it was dealt damage by this card this turn, put it into your field under your control. It gains Nightmare and Vampire in addition to its own race.
Yes.
Yeah. Seems
good.
really good. Seems really, really, really good. So let's
I have to see more of the darkness cards before I judge it, but it seems really
yeah, no. Yeah, let's go ahead and dive into the rest of the darkness cards because
Alvarez.
yeah,
Alvarez, the
Darkness
Demon Castle. Yeah. And of course, it's another field spell that boosts all of the creatures in that.
It's one of
that
those
thing, so-
cycles. They all have the activate, pay one of their color to banish this card, put target vampires named from your graveyard to your hand. Yep.
Love recursion. Love recursion. So, yeah, definitely a very solid, straightforward card. And, yeah, pretty good. So now we're going to Black Coffin of Vampires. It's 2-drop. Continuous is Vampire Resonator with this cannot be targeted by souls or abilities your opponent controls. Otherwise, it cannot attack or block. Activate, pay 1 darkness, return it back. Seems pretty good. You lock down a creature, or make sure your vampire can't be targeted by spells or abilities.
I mean, you just gotta leave a mana open so you can deal with
Yep.
chaining if they decide to destroy an addition with one of their many effects capable of doing that, but besides that.
Yep.
I like that one a lot, amongst
Yep.
anything.
Yeah, anything that gives you some hexproofs, pretty good in my book. So
Blood-sucking impulse.
hey, it's
Homegirl knows
yeah.
what's up.
I'm not gonna go. I'm just going to go ahead and leave that joke alone. So target vampire you control deals damage equal to its attack to another target resonator. Then you gain life equal to half of that damage. Run it up to the nearest 100. So it seems really good. This is a 2-drop
Yep.
fight spell that you just kind of gain life off of. So
And it's an instant. That's good.
and it's an instant. So yeah, I mean it's really really
It's
really
a
good.
kind of insane card. What are you doing? Sorry. Why are you doing this?
Now, two really good cards coming up in Darkness that I really 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 like. I really like the art. Probably
Carl spent half of
some-
his time with half his face off the camera, knocking my earbud out.
awesome. The next two Darkness cards I think have some of the best art.
Somehow worse. Much worse.
Both super rares. The first one is Carmilla, the Queen of Vampires. 4-drop, 2 colorless, 2 black. Enter ability is destroy target non-vampire resonator. If your ruler is Alucard, the Dark Noble, or your J ruler is Dracula, the Demonic one, and the resonator you destroy this way is a human, which there are tons of humans apparently, put it into your field under your control. It loses all races and becomes a vampire.
But you're still, in the worst case, just destroying a target resonator pretty much.
Yeah. It's basically Necrotal from Magic. It comes in, it kills something, and it's an 800/800.
I'm a fan.
Really, really good. Yeah, solid card. Solid card. Cinderella, the Ashen Maiden is the next one. It's a 2-drop, Nightmare Human. Continuous. Whenever this card deals damage to your opponent, you may search your main deck for a Prince Resonator,
Ooh.
reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle your main deck. Activate Banish a Resonator. This card deals 200 damage to each Resonator your opponent controls.
It's Burst Shot.
Yeah,
Yay.
seems really good. Definitely probably a 4 of.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 2 cards, pretty good. So now it looks like we have our first little Prince card here. Oh, this actually is pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think there was a Prince earlier too. There were a couple in white.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's definitely a couple Princes earlier. So, Deadman Prince is a 3-drop, 2 colorless, 1 black. When it enters play, it's Gravedigger. You just return target a Resonator from your graveyard into your hand. So,
Good stuff.
Good stuff. Kind of weak for a 3-drop, but
It's
you're
meh.
recurring things, so not too bad. You get 2 of them out, you pretty much have a chump blocker for days. So, Jewels on Dragon's Neck is the next card.
It's a treasury item.
It's a treasury item. 2 colors, 1 black. Activate. You pay a darkness. Then you tap it. Put target dark addition from your graveyard to your hand. More recursion, but for
Seems
additions.
okay. It's really slow. Like, you probably want to not be doing this. You want to curve out your guys
Yeah.
instead. But
Yeah, this is something, they would just probably remove this before they remove, but yeah, it doesn't seem.
yeah,
Next card. You gotta have it for the treasury item,
of course.
Laura the Blood Speaker. 2-drop, 300/300.
This
Vampire.
card seems nuts.
Yeah. Search your main deck for a vampire, reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle your. So it's another tutor.
Oh,
Searching for this one.
what a good
Yeah.
drop.
You guys.
Yeah. I'm just gonna keep searching for these.
Yup.
Yeah, it
The
seems
whole
pretty
deck is
custom.
tutors. Yeah, good lord.
Yeah. Oh, good stuff is good stuff. So Midnight Bell, 2-drop, standby spell. Trigger. Total number of resonators in all magic stones is
Right?
12. Each resonator your opponent controls loses all abilities and becomes 0/200. This seems like the oh my god, I can't believe I walked into the spell and just lost the game type card.
Yeah.
To combo with that card from earlier too, you know.
So yeah, it seems pretty good.
No, it
not
doesn't.
not many standby spells that I actually like, but yeah, some of them are looks really really good. So
Everything has to be 12, so, like, thinking about probably, like, turn 4 when both players have 2 things out and 4 mana, maybe. I don't know.
okay, so I don't know if they're missing a card here for the next card. I don't know if they're missing the ruler. I don't know if you can have a J ruler without having a ruler. So it's Pandora of Dark, but there's no
No,
ruler.
you can't have a. You have to have a ruler.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know.
There's
It's
an
on-
enter ability.
yeah,
So
so
just starting the game with I think you'd win every game.
just I'm gonna go and flip it, discard your hand. So whatever the ruler is, whatever activation ability is, it must be pretty decent because
We
forcing
tried
your
Google, but the game
opponent-
is too not out yet.
Yeah. So basically, I mean, I don't know. Going by the whatever, I mean, it's not quite. I don't know if it's as powerful. Well,
It
I would
depends
put it
entirely
powerful
on what
as
it takes
Wrath.
to get it out. Because if I can consistently get my opponent's hand of 3 or 4 cards, then I'm going to be running this.
It's gotta be a zero
It's
cost.
it's
Oh,
It's
yes.
gotta be a 0 cost turn 1. Bam. Nah, I'm guessing it's probably like a 5. I mean,
Yeah, but if there's like a
if you're
stipulation where you have a certain thing on
nah,
the board,
I
then
don't
yeah.
think there's a stipulation. I think it's just going to be just like the light one where you pay 5 and you wrath a board. I think it's going to be kind of the same thing. You pay 5 and force your opponent to discard their hand.
Seems okay. I have a quick question. At
Yeah.
the beginning of the game, if you're playing your opponent and they obviously put their ruler out, you get to like look at the back of their card, right? Because you could just memorize every ruler, but like it's common knowledge what the back of your opponent's card on the board is, right?
I
Like,
believe
in
so.
case you're
Yeah,
a new player, you just get to check. What do I have to play around?
yeah, because you show your opponent your ruler, J ruler, or whatever.
I know
'Cause
you
have
put
to
a face
reveal-
up, but I don't know if you're allowed to like flip it over and take a look at what's going on your opponent's ruler side.
I mean, even if your opponent was kind of douchey and didn't allow you, I'm pretty sure in any competitive event you could
all
probably
cards
ask.
have- yeah, all cards in the game are common knowledge. Like that's all
Yeah.
games across the board. If you ask what
Yeah,
a card
it's
does,
it's public knowledge if it's out on the table. So I mean,
like you
in
can
worst
call,
case scenario, you just ask.
like I know in Yu-Gi-Oh, you could just call a judge over, say, "Hey, what does such and such card say?" And then they'll tell you what that card says. Like
Yeah, just
even
like
though it's
Magic,
not
you
on
can
the
ask for
board
an
or
oracle
anywhere.
ruler.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
ask what a card does, and someone will tell you what it does.
Yeah. So, not too. It's I don't know. Be interesting to know what the cost is. I'm guessing 5. Could be wrong, but I mean,
Seems
I don't know.
alright.
Yeah, definitely 4 or 5. Yeah.
Yeah. So Pumpkin Witch, 2 colorless and 1 black. It's a Nightmare Witch. It enters. Each resident you control gains flying and swiftness until end of turn.
Ooh.
That seems pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It's something you play and you just kind of give everything flying. And the simple fact is you're giving everything flying is not so much as you're giving it haste, but the fact that you're giving it flying seems to be pretty good. Like you can just kind of
Flying and haste. Yeah, you just.
Yeah. So
Oof.
next
It's a little
we
hard to
have
combo though at 3, but
yeah. It just seems like it's just an alpha strike card. Like you kind of amass a board,
Mhm.
and then because the whole thing is like I don't see a lot of ways to really. I mean, a lot of creatures that can stop flying besides other creatures with flying. So if you just play it, and then all of your vampires suddenly go, haha, I got wings, and they just take off and just destroy your life total. So
I hear you.
Yep. So our next spell is Resurrection of Vampire. 2 colorless, 2 black. You put a Vampire Resonator from your graveyard into your field. Then it triggers its enter ability.
This is an instant
So
too.
This
Yes.
seems
It
really
costs a
good.
lot, but it's very good because you have the guy that enters and just banishes a dude.
Yeah, you just basically play this with Carmilla, and it just seems to be pretty busted. Like you just, all right, I'm gonna play Carmilla, kill that, take control of it. It's a human, and then block. Oh, look, it died, or you killed it, and then I just, yeah, that card.
You can
seems
block with a
really-
card you put in right immediately with this, right? Like if it's your opponent's turn, you just
Yeah.
instant block. Blocking is not
Yeah.
like attacking in that aspect, I guess.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yes, very very solid instant. The fact that they get their enter ability seems pretty busted. Next
Oh,
card is a
Romeo.
1-drop. So, did you have anything to say about that card?
Oh, Romeo.
No, that was crazy.
Oh, Romeo.
Romeo.
1-drop,
Romeo
300,
looking a
300.
little, grungy.
Yeah.
A little despair.
So is
Spared.
he our first immortal?
Maybe.
Nightmare immortal? Yeah, so it's continuous. When this card is put into the graveyard from a field, if you control Juliet the Hope, you may pay 1 darkness. If you do, put this card from your graveyard to the field.
Yeah.
So he just comes back. He's like a Gravecaller or whatever from Magic or whatever.
You know what? It's not called Grave Cult, something.
It's a
Man.
Diregraph Ghoul or
It was like
something.
an
It's one
effect,
of-
but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's one of the
Regenerate.
one-drops. So, yeah. But yeah, he basically comes
Oh,
back. So
serious.
seems pretty good. And then our next 1-drop is Servant of Vampire.
Ooh.
Guy looks kind of cool. This guy hit by something. Oh, it's a beanie. Oh, it's a magic beanie. Yeah, darkness beanie.
This is pretty sweet.
But,
It'll just act as bait for removal cards or whatever your opponent might have that want to deal with something bigger.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. It definitely seems, just definitely seems really good.
Oh yeah.
It's our looks for vampires for the most part.
That was a
So-
1-drop too. It's just kind of you
Yeah.
just kind of throw it in there with whatever extra mana you're not using.
Seems pretty good. It eats a spell, jumps in front of something. So good stuff is good stuff.
I like
1-drop
these
edition.
slippers.
Yeah, Slipper of Cinderella. Even though there's 2 in the picture, it's only one. It's the Slipper of Cinderella. continuous resonator with this. Wow, gains 600, 600 if it's dark, which is probably going to be, and its printed attack defense is 400, 400. Otherwise, it gets minus 400, minus 400.
So you can use
So
to
it's
kill
either
something
remove a
small.
spell, yeah, or have we gotten any? Well, okay, so you basically can turn Cinderella. Yeah, so Cinderella becomes an 8/8. Or it is, no, wait, she becomes bigger.
I just like because I think dark decks are going to use this just as a one drop to deal with like early game creatures like the wolf that might snowball. You just pop the slipper on it and then it dies. Nice
Yeah.
little 1-for-1 on turn 1.
Literally pop the slipper on
Yeah,
it.
you just slip it on. For some reason,
Well, I mean,
you just have the time to do
Cinderella's a
that.
2-drop. So Cinderella's a
Werewolves
2-drop.
hate
You check
slippers.
this on her, and she's 1,000
You could do that too.
on turn 3. Seems pretty nutty. So, ugh.
Spiral of Despair.
So Spiral of Despair. I don't know why this. I mean, this is him to Torok from Magic. Because I mean, you're more than likely going to be running. Okay, so we need to find Pandora, Girl of the Box, and J Ruler Pandora.
Okay.
J-Ruler is Pandora of Dark.
Okay, so it says Pandora, Girl of the Box, or J Ruler Pandora of Light, or Pandora of the Dark. So there's 2 J Rulers and 1 ruler.
This card is just good.
Yeah, it's literally it's him to Torok. You pay 2, they discard 2 cards at random for the most part. Or just pay 2 and they discard 2. So good, so much value. So, granted, you want the randomness, but
Even
know,
still.
still,
Like this
Still,
game,
discard-
like your mana is in a different deck, so they're never gonna have that in their hand to just discard. Instead, like they're gonna discard actual cards.
yeah. And the simple fact that they're discarding a third of their hand.
Ish,
Yeah,
maybe even more.
good ish. Yeah. So good stuff is good. Well, actually, I would just see catching people getting down to where they're just, they got 2 cards down, 2 cards left in their hand, and then you hit them with it, and they're just like, well,
If
I
you've
kind of
already
fell into that trap.
J-rolled into Pandora of the Dark and discarded their hand, they're gonna be top decking. And if they leave anything in their hand, like they don't have the mana for it, then you just get
Yeah.
to pick it off with this card later too.
So next is another 2-drop, another vampire bat. It's flying. Whenever this creature deals damage, you gain that much life. And wow, okay, this card actually
Lifelink.
seems pretty good. And then, yeah, and then you pay a darkness and you gain 200 until end of turn. So it has a fire breathing effect.
And you can do that
to
as
it.
many times as you want
But
because it
it
doesn't
has
involve
lifelink.
tapping this guy, right? Like you can just tap 3 dark and gain
Yeah,
600 now.
I believe so. I believe that works. So I mean,
Has to be.
it seems really good. Like, yeah, just seems really good. And you have other stuff like you have the field spell that gives them already an additional plus 200. So I don't know. Life gain stuff seems really good. So
Yeah, this card is good. I like it.
then the last actual card before we get to the magic stones
Which
in
looks
the,
sweet.
set is
There are magic stones in the
does
last
look
set too that also look sweet.
It's I know, right? Vampire Staff. It's a 2-drop 400 400, and at the beginning it continues at the beginning of your recovery phase. I saw this played a lot, and apparently it's really good. It's a 2-drop. You reveal the top card of your recovery phase. This card deals 100 damage to target player for each will symbol on the revealed card attribute cost, and you gain that much life. So basically, you flip the top card, and however many little there's up to 5 will.
Does
that a
it
card
count the
can have.
number 2 or no?
No, it's just the
Okay.
will. The will is the actual actual mana.
Thing
This
in the
card just
circle.
seems good though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, every turn, and the fact that you get multiple triggers if you have multiples. So
Wait, this makes me a little
Yeah.
like it says reveal the top card, it deals damage to target player for each will. So like the cards that say target opponent, can they also target creatures or no?
no, I think if it has to say target resonator or J/resonator
Okay,
if it's
yeah,
targeting the creature.
Okay.
But yeah, so basically,
Because
like
you can deal
every
this to yourself
turn-
too if you wanted to, which wouldn't do anything because you
Yes.
just gain it back.
Yeah, you would just gain it back. But it's definitely you reveal the top card and you're at least dealing 1
hmm
for the most part. So
And it's good stats for a 2-drop. It's not bad.
yeah, not bad at all. So now we're getting to probably the best cards in the set.
These are like
And
the
now-
enemy stones. Like in the first set, they had the ones that were like nature light or wind light, water dark.
Yeah, they add
These
the
are other
allies.
ones.
Yes. Yeah. So this is the first set. This is the Crimson Moon's Fairy Tale, and they have the enemy colored dual stones. We have the Magic Stone of Black Silence, which is black and green. It's basically our Bayou. Then we
Wait, was
have
this
our
one the
Magic-
first set or the second set?
This one's the first set.
Okay, good.
Crimson Moon's Fairy Tale is the first set. Yeah. Magic Stone of Black Silence is your Bayou, which is black and green. Magic Stone of Deep Wood is your green and blue, which is your tropical island. Magic Stone of Hearth's Core is your volcanic island, which is red and blue. Magic Stone of Heat Ray. If I'm going too fast, just let me know. It is your plateau with red and white.
He's so good at magic.
And the Magic Stone of Heaven's Rift is your scrubland of your white and black. And
Then you have
then you
normal
have
ones.
all of your basic normal ones. Dual lands were completely busted. They're amazing in Magic, and I don't see how they would not be just as good in this game.
I'm surprised they don't have some stipulation, but I guess there's like one card that gets rid of special stones.
Yeah.
Maybe I
You
don't
notice the
know.
one we talked about way up there. It's a red card.
Yeah, the
The
Bloody
moon,
Moon.
yeah.
Yeah, the
Sounds
Bloody Moon. Yeah, so it allows you to sack it and do whatever. But it's definitely these five and then the other five are basically tournament staples. I mean, you're gonna have to have your playset if you're gonna take the game any sort of serious being competitive. I mean, we already know they have Grand Prix and Nationals and Worlds and everything, so there's no reason to think that later on that we're not going to get them. So, yeah. And then of course we have the basic stones. So
Good stuff.
yeah, that's the Crimson
that is the whole set.
Moon's Fairy Tale. Yeah. What do you guys think overall? What are your overall thoughts on this set, on this first set?
Well, we're getting it coupled with the next set, so it's hard to judge it as a whole by itself, but you can already see the different archetypes appearing.
Just from just not having any knowledge of the cards before we did this, and now knowing, the majority of these cards, like the deck just seems very almost tempo-y. Like there's a lot of cards that just seem to have that 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of combo-esque. You want to get these cards in certain orders and have things kind of work out. I haven't seen anything else that kind of shows me otherwise. Everything, whether it's control, tempo, or aggro, depends on those first 4 turns to kind of get up off the ground. So it'll be interesting to see if that's wrong or right, or how that plays out once we actually get the cards in our hands and can grind games. But it seems like it's a lot of fun. So
yeah.
I'm very interested in all these
Yeah,
different, there's a lot of flavor here, which is kind of cool. Like, everyone can relate to these stories and stuff, I would think, in some way or form, so
Yeah.
it's kind of neat.
Yeah, if you're interested in this
That's-
card list and looking at it, by the way, I'm going to get the link here. It's FOWTCG.com right there, so you can just check it out if you want to look at the cards more in depth, too.
Yeah.
Oh,
indeed.
Yeah, it's definitely any cards that you think immediately stand out as being ones that you can't wait to kind of play with, or
I think the green ramp cards are all very good, and not just the basis of the Grim deck either, but you could run green black and ramp the guy that just kills a guy. You could run you could run aggro decks with just basically red, and there's some black cards or white cards you could complement as well. I like the wolves, the elves, the a lot of things that I'm just forgetting. Grim is obviously a playable ramp deck.
Just a heads up.
Oh, I like
too.
Were Rabbits a lot too.
Just a heads up, I just realized, remember the one
Ooh.
J-Roller from Darkness?
Oh,
Yeah, Pandora Girl of the Box. It looks like it's this rainbow card, and then it's got a light version and a dark version. So I don't know if it's going to be,
yeah.
if you're going to get, when you, bust open a pack, you'll get Pandora Girl of the Box with the J-Roller being the Pandora of Dark on the back, or Pandora Dark, or Pandora of Light on the back. It's one or the other that you'll get.
Oh, I get it.
Or
Cause
how
it's
that'll
always it's always a white-black deck, and you get Pandora Girl of the Box, and it could be either on the back.
it's interesting.
But I
And-
assume you'll have the option of
definitely
knowing
seems-
what your opponent's
I don't know.
J-Ruler is at the beginning of the game, so you'd know which one you're playing against, whether it's the Destroy All Resonators or discard your entire hand thing.
Yeah.
So that's good. But it's a
Yeah.
really cool, white black obviously synergistic, I guess. You could even maybe go 3 colors, the old white, black, green, possibly for ramp, but you'd have to get some good crystals, I guess. It's not
Yeah.
unheard of though.
Yeah, because look, she doesn't have a color designation on her little typing thing there. All these guys have light and the
Yeah.
darkness.
Yeah.
Hers is just blank.
Sweet, I gotta do some brewing.
But yeah, Grim seems really
Yeah.
good, that combo. I'm interested in the Three Musketeers just because, I kind of got, I like that whole idea. I like the Three Musketeers. It was one of the stories that I grew up on as a kid, so those guys, so that's kind of cool. I'm
They remind me of
interested to
Nat
play all
Pagel. I can wait and fish all day.
those. Except they're badass.
Nat Pagel's badass.
Exactly. The simple fact that I think I'm excited that to play anything with I keep on calling it nature green or whatever it's called, but the simple fact they have counter spells and they seem. I mean, they have the mana ramp. They have counter spells. They have one drops that kill additions, and then they synergize really well. And yeah, it seems really
Good
good.
stuff.
I think. I mean, I'm honestly. I think I could play almost any of the colors. I think they could be almost all be competitive.
Yeah.
Um,
It just depends on how. And you
So-
can mix and match a lot of these cards too, which is cool. So
Any final thoughts, Rob, before we sign off? Or was that the final thoughts?
I think that might be it. I mean, everything else is really good. I mean, I really can't wait to get my hands on the cards. I mean, I'm probably more than likely what I'm going to do is, even though the game releases on the 13th, I mean, I'll have product in before that, but
Cool.
um,
Looking forward to giving you all some more content, and stay
I know,
tuned for
right?
the next set review, which will be up shortly, I suppose, after this one is going live.
oh, indeed.
Yep.
And definitely go check out
Sounds
cyberlordgames.com for all your
yep,
single
check out
needs.
Several Lord Games. for
Are you
your,
taking orders at this point, Hebe? Hebe.
We are actually taking pre-orders. Pre-orders end on the 22nd. So if you're looking for to pick up some boxes, they're $85. Shipping is really super cheap. If you buy more than one box, shipping is free.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, no, right?
The
So yeah,
deals.
price is it's $85. $85 a box. I don't have the. I couldn't. I was working with Crystal Commerce about trying to get the case. The case price is up. At the, if you want to buy a case is 6 boxes. If you buy them on the website and buy 6 cases, they're $5.10. I'll just credit you back the $10. I'll refund you back the $10. Or you can contact me on Facebook. You contact me on Facebook, anytime. Basically, I make myself available.
And stay tuned for
almost anytime
singles,
for the
too, which will be
community.
going up eventually.
Yep. As soon as I get, we're working on the catalog now, and as soon as all the singles are added to the catalog, I'll be importing them. I'm probably not going to do a pre-order for these first couple sets because I don't know how many I'm, I don't know how much of the product. I know I'm getting at least 2 cases of each, possibly more. But yeah, until I check out the ratios and see how many of each type I open and all this other stuff. I'll be able to gauge it in the next set. That I believe they already released the press for it. Comes out in April, I believe. The 3rd set that we're getting is going to come out in April. So
Excellent.
yep, I'll probably more than likely be taking pre-orders on that stuff. So,
Excellent.
but yeah, definitely doing pre-order for sealed product.
Yeah.
So
And
check that
definitely
out.
check out the site for articles as well, probably beginning next
Yep.
month once we actually get the release and get the cards in our hand to grind with. And then always stay tuned to this YouTube channel for all of your Force of Will TCG goodness as we continue
yep.
to do set reviews and talk about cards. And we'll have the demo decks in our hands after next week, so CVH and I will grind a couple games and kind of give you some insight on the gameplay of it all. So
Yep.
stay tuned for that.
Later, guys, I think.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next time.
Later, guys.